Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing very well. Merry Christmas, happy holidays and a happy new year. Today we're going to be watching The Shop Around the Corner from 1940 and I cannot wait to see this. Now it's been suggested by you guys so many times in the comments, so thank you. I am going to be going into this pretty blind, so if there is any information that you guys know on this film, feel free to leave it in the comments below, but don't forget that at the very end of the video we will go through the film's trivia, so film facts and that kind of thing. Now I'm interested in seeing this because a Christmas favourite of mine, as I'm probably sure it is for you guys, is It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart as well. So maybe this is going to be another Christmas favourite with him in it. Anyway guys, if you want to check out the full uncut reaction to this, or any of the other films that I've got available, including a selection that I've watched over the years, and the ones that I'm watching this year as well. I'm still not entirely sure how much time I'm going to get to put anything out, so because my December is incredibly busy, but I will try my best to get out as much as possible over the festive period. Also, don't forget that as well as Patreon, you've also got YouTube members as well. Anyway, without further ado, let's watch The Shop Around the Corner from 1940. Oh, it's Margaret Sullavan that plays with him. Film editor Gene Ruggiero? I like to mention the film editors because I re-edit the entire film. This is the story of Mutashek and Company, of Mr. Mutashek, I'm saying that right hopefully, and the people who work for him. It's just around the corner from Andrassy Street on Balta Street in Budapest, Hungary. So we're in Hungary. Beautiful shop.
Morning, Mr. Perovich.
Good morning.
Oh, the first one, huh?
It doesn't hurt to be too early.
What for and why? Who sees you? Me. And who sees me? You. Can we give each other a raise? No. You know where I was last night while you were home soaking your feet in hot water? Running my legs off for Mrs. Matichek. Peppy, go to the dressmaker.
Matichek, okay.
Oh, Peppy, will you please pick up a package at the drugstore?
Good morning, Miss Kutcher.
Morning.
How's your little boy?
Much better, thanks. We call Dr. Hagedorn.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I like the introduction of characters right at the start.
I hesitated a long time before I bought it. I said, no, I can't afford it. And still I couldn't take my eyes off it. And then I said, no, I have no right to...
And then he said, oh, go on and take it.
Oh, trying to be clever.
Shut up.
There he is. Morning, Jimmy.
I'm happy you go over to the drugstore and get me a bicarbonate soda.
Don't you feel well?
Oh, it's all right. I just have...
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Want to hear a joke?
No.
I bet I haven't slept half as much as you. I had quite a time last night.
And we don't want to hear the poor girl's name.
Did you?
Mr. Craddock had dinner with the boss last night. Well, how was it? Tell us all about it.
I was going to say, it must have been a raise.
All right.
It was a very nice evening, and I enjoyed myself.
Is it true Mrs. Malichuk had her face lifted?
Well, how could I know that?
How old did she look?
Well, 40.
She had her face lifted.
That's what...
I think Mrs. Matuchek is a very charming woman.
Who said she isn't? And don't you try to make something out of nothing. I didn't say Mrs. Malichuk is not charming.
But I said she is charming. What's wrong with that?
You can just see the way he kind of thinks about women just from the conversations they've had.
Bicarbonate, aren't you?
I had a little too much goose liver last night.
To get rid of heartburn. That's me every day.
A little too much goose liver. Not one word more and not one word less. Morning, Mr. Matichek.
Good morning.
Morning.
What's wrong with the window?
Who put this 3250 suitcase in the window?
I did, Mr. Matuchek.
I guess it's all right.
Thank you, Mr. Matuchek.
He's not happy.
Go across the street to the drugstore and get me some bicarbonate.
Bicarbonate of soda.
You hear something nice? A letter from a girl. My heart was trembling as I walked into the post office, and there you were lying in box 237. I took you out of your envelope and read you right there. Oh, my dear friend.
Wow. For just being a casual ad, that felt a little bit personal.
French, you want to study something about art.
Tell me, what has all this to do with the letter?
Well, you know I can't afford a new encyclopedia. Got on the wrong page and I came across this ad.
Modern girl wishes to correspond on cultural subjects anonymously with intelligent, sympathetic young man. Post Office 15, Box 237.
This reminds me of a film I've seen before.
Exchanged 4 letters. And she's no ordinary girl.
Wasn't letters though, I don't think.
Are your eyes blue? Are they brown? What does it matter so long as our minds meet?
That's beautiful.
I like that.
It is, isn't it? Now, wait a minute. We have enough troubles in our daily lives. There are so many great and beautiful things to discuss in this world. It would be wasting these precious moments if we told each other the vulgar details of how we earn our daily bread.
Sweet words.
I can buy 2 dozen of these cigarette boxes at Miklos Brothers. What do you think of it? I think it's great.
I love that box.
Well, open it.
It's got a beautiful pattern.
Listen to Stewart, it plays Ochicharnia.
Even if it played Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, I'd still say no.
It's wonderful the way you can make up your mind so quickly. I've been in this business for 35 years. It took me a whole hour to decide that I like this box. You're a genius. You know so much more than I.
To be fair, though, I take forever to make decisions sometimes.
Yeah, what do you think of this? All I want is your honest opinion.
And it comes to an honest opinion right from the boss. I love that.
I think people who smoke cigarettes and love to hear Ochicharnia will like it.
I like the way he's trying to get other impressions.
Well, have you thought it over?
Yes.
I don't like it.
Inadvisable.
Well, give me one reason.
Well, let's say that a man smokes 20 cigarettes a day. That means that 20 times a day he has to open this box
And hear that.
It's a perfectly terrible idea. And besides, it's imitation leather. 2 weeks, the whole thing will fall apart, and all you'll have left is Ochicharnia.
You just sell things and let me do the buying.
Do you know, this kind of reminds me a little bit of Are You Being Served? I don't know why this. And also a bit of Hobson's Choice that we've seen as well.
I'm not quite sure about the whole idea. What? You can't expect me to make it.
What is he doing?
If that's the case, then I'll have to say no.
The look there. It's like, it reminds me of Doc in Back to the Future when he's going around to the DeLorean when Marty's mum is doting on him. And he's like, it's the same.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
It's a lovely bag, don't you think?
I really didn't come in to buy a bag.
Is that Meg Sullivan?
To tell you the truth, I really didn't come in to buy anything.
She came to see you?
I wonder if I could see Mr. Marticek.
But if you'll tell me your wishes, it's quite possible I could take care of them.
Noticed in your shop window that you're having a summer sale.
She seems so sweet.
Wonderful bargain.
Yeah, well, everything in the shop is a bargain today.
Even less for you.
Probably have such a rush you won't be able to take care of the customers.
Well, in that case, maybe you should take on some extra help.
Or was she after a job?
Maybe you could use me. I'm looking for a job.
No, that wasn't very nice. Letting me go through the whole routine.
Do you think you could help me to get a job here?
But look around for yourself. You can see what kind of business we're doing.
Do you know what I really love about James Stewart's acting? He's got such emotion with his voice, if that makes sense.
How much is that belt in the window? The one that says $2.95.
$2.95.
Oh, no.
The little things he does with his face, the little looks.
I worked for 2 years at Blaschik Company and I left of my own accord.
My dear child, even if you'd worked at Mintz and Cromer,
I did! I know how to take care of the finest clientele. And they'd take me back right this minute.
why don't you go back?
I like her, she's nice.
If it was up to me, I'd put you to work right away.
Why don't you let me see him?
Sort of a bad mood today.
Oh, well, maybe I can cheer him up.
Anything might cheer him up.
Check inside out. I can predict his every reaction. I can tell you word for word exactly what he'd say.
And now he's going to say something different.
I beg your pardon. Just one moment, please. No, every reaction of mine, huh?
No, of course not, sir.
You're not only a genius, you're a mind reader.
To be fair, some of you guys have said that about me. I'm a mind reader.
The word impossible is not in the vocabulary of Matuszek and Company.
I was at Blaschik and Company.
Oh, my.
I mean, I worked there.
Oh.
I'm looking for a job.
Oh, no, that's impossible, is it?
You just said nothing was impossible.
I'm afraid you're just wasting your time.
I've got to have a job.
Maybe after inventory.
Excuse me, I'll leave my address.
Oh, yes.
My name is Clara Novak, Juno Street 42. And if you need me in a hurry, you can phone
Now you've got her address and phone number.
Why did you put me in that situation in front of the whole shop?
You put yourself into that situation.
You're my oldest employee. I do everything I can to show my appreciation. I ask you to my house. You know how much I value your judgment. And on every occasion, you contradict me.
Sir, from now on, I say yes.
That was a nice party last night, huh?
Yes, Mr. Matuszek.
But you just saying it because?
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself so much. That little poem that you wrote in Mrs. Matuszek's guest book, you make that up yourself?
I think you just kind of like him as a good friendship anyway.
Half Shakespeare and half me. See, I just changed the lines around to suit the occasion.
Mrs. Matuszek liked it very much.
Oh.
You made a fine impression on her. Mrs. Matuszek thinks a lot of you. And, you know, I think a lot of Mrs. Matuszek.
So he's trying to keep him sweet because his wife likes him, I think. Happy wife, happy life.
Me take care of this, Mr. Matuszek.
Give her a job.
Would you buy a box like this?
Sell it to him. Because if you can sell it to him, you'll get the job.
I want your opinion, your honest opinion.
That's how I had to get a job in menswear departments before.
You like this box?
I think it's lovely.
Yeah. Why?
Sales pitch.
I think it's romantic.
What's romantic about it?
The whimsical song.
Cigarettes and music. It makes me think of moonlight and cigarettes and music.
There's the woman's point of view.
Yes, Mr. Matuszek.
How much are you selling it for?
$4.25. Yeah, $4.25.
That's a real bargain.
If she can get someone to buy it.
It's a lovely box, isn't it?
It's a candy box.
Well, yeah.
Yes, madame, a candy box.
Jewelry?
And I should say a very unusual one.
Oh, yes, madame. That's a popular classic.
Oh, wait.
No, that would never do. Every time you take a piece of candy, you have to listen to that song. I couldn't buy a thing like that. It's really too silly.
That look of madness on his face.
There's no denying that we all have a weakness for candy.
Many fine chocolates.
Madam, have you any idea how many pieces of candy you eat a day?
No, I never gave it a thought.
That's just
And you'd know how many times with the tune.
This little box makes you candy conscious. That's what Marty and Company designed it for.
Such a
Now
lie.
you open it, this tinkling little song is a message to you. Too much candy. Now be careful.
That's a flipping good idea.
$5.50, reduced from $6.95. It's a
Oh,
real...
you cheeky, because it wasn't like 4 something.
I think people who like to smoke candy and listen to cigarettes will love it.
That's good.
I want your opinion, your honest opinion. That's all I want.
I just realised the guy going up the stairs was the other guy. Every time he says the honest opinion, he runs away. That guy.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Special clearance sale. Archie Thorne, your cigarette boxes. He's just got them all on there now.
Well, I got a big dinner date tonight.
Clara?
With the boss?
Oh, no, he never invites me anymore. I hope he's feeling more cheerful today. Better, because I'm going to ask him for a raise.
A raise?
He's your friend, though, so he probably will give you it.
And I suppose a fellow like me wants to get married.
Well, that's wonderful. Who's the girl?
Now, wait a minute. What did I say? I said suppose. I said a fellow like me. I didn't say me. Now, how much did it cost you to live?
Who's he? Just thought. Who is he suddenly wanting to get married to? Not the girl.
It can be done.
Yeah?
Yes. 3 rooms. What do you need 3 rooms for? You live in the bedroom.
Children.
Where do you eat?
In the kitchen.
Well, where do you entertain?
What are you, an ambassador? Who do you want to entertain?
Friends.
If someone is really your friend, he comes after dinner.
I noticed that you wore a yellow blouse with light green dots yesterday.
No, it's a green blouse with light yellow dots. I don't remember ever remarking about your necktie.
I'm kind of confused, to be fair.
So please leave my blouse alone. It's none of your business.
Well, I'm sorry. Mr. Matichek seems to think it is my business.
Well, from now on, I'll telephone you every morning, describe exactly what I'm going to wear.
Oh.
Imagine you dictating what I should wear.
Well, for heaven's sake, I don't care what you wear. If you want to look like a pony in the circus, it's all right. But I have troubles of my own without your blouse coming between Mr. Matichek and me.
Listen, I sold as much goods yesterday as anybody else in the shop. 95 Tango 50 isn't bad for a rainy Monday 3 weeks before Christmas. Did you
My
tell him?
God.
He said, tell her not to come in that blouse anymore.
Tell him I won't.
I will.
Oh, I love them two together. They remind me so much of Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell in His Girl Friday.
Tell me, who is the girl?
You know that girl I was corresponding with?
Oh, the letter one. Right.
Well, after a while, we got on the subject of love. She is the most wonderful girl in the world.
Is she pretty?
Sometimes you don't have to know someone too
Such
much.
a viewpoint on things that she's so far above all the girls you meet today, there's just no comparison.
So she's not so very pretty.
I get that. Completely get that.
The main thing is that you like her.
Hope I will.
What do you mean? You love a girl and you don't know if you like her?
Because you've never met her.
Just the question. Haven't met her yet.
Yeah.
I keep postponing it and postponing it. I'm scared. You see, this girl thinks I'm the most wonderful person in the world. Chance she might be disappointed. On the other hand,
You might be disappointed too.
Not so much that, but it's just the scared, realizing this could be it. This could be the big one.
you wonder how much is in it. You don't want to open it.
And scared of everything.
As long as the envelope's closed, you're a millionaire. Postponing that moment and can't postpone it forever. I'm meeting her tonight, 8:30 in a cafe.
Right, Carnation?
Yeah.
Just going for it.
She's using one for a bookmark and a copy of Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. I'm wearing one on my lapel.
Wait, what was the book the girl was reading a minute ago? Was that the Anna Karenina book?
Lovely, average girl. That's all I want.
Just someone normal.
Thank you, my good man.
He's so extravagant, that guy. Flaunting the money.
On your underpaid faces that you wonder where I got all this money.
I don't wonder.
No, he just gets it. What does he do as a... does he do a side job? With all the women, I'm thinking, is he like an escort or something?
There isn't a shop on the street that doesn't look better than this. It's a wonder we get any customers. Stay tonight after closing hours and redecorate.
No, because he's got dinner. He's got the cafe.
Have a chance. I have a very important engagement tonight at 8:30.
It is her.
Did you notice the blouse I wore yesterday, the green one? Glad you see I'm planning to wear it tonight.
It's her. She's the girl. Was that the book that he was talking about then?
Well, you were sleeping and I didn't want to
they-
disturb you.
They'll be so good together.
Thought perhaps you'd like to sleep a little longer. No, I'm not angry. Did you have a good time? All that matters, isn't it? 1,000 penga. I don't understand it. Only last Monday I gave you quite a bit of money.
Wait.
All right, I'll send it over as soon as possible.
You know how some things in films, they kind of relate to other things, like I was saying, the book she was reading, and then he says one thing, and then it's oh, is it her? And it turns out it's her. The other guy with the money. The money with the wife?
Well, then I'm sorry, I'm busy. You'll have to see
Is
me
he
later.
having a fling with the wife? The guy with the fur on. Yeah, him.
For several days, your attitude toward me seems to have changed.
Oh, has it?
Really, I'm completely at a loss to understand it. After all, I do my work.
And you get paid for it?
Yes, sir.
Every month?
Yes, sir.
Everything seems to be all right then, doesn't it?
Is it because his wife likes him?
I'm not going to stand for this much longer. Why does he always have to pick on me?
Well, you are his oldest employee.
Well, that's a fine reason.
Imagine he probably thinks of him like a son, I suppose.
I said, yes, Mr. Matacek, I'm an idiot.
Yes, I'm an idiot.
Maybe he has some trouble with his wife. Is that true, Pyramid? Is he having trouble with his wife?
That's the guy I was saying about.
I don't know anything. Leave me alone.
Don't be impulsive. Not when millions of people are out of work.
Maybe?
I'm not afraid.
I have a family.
No, I haven't.
Those were nice letters, weren't they?
Change his mind. Just change the subject.
Mr. Kralik, you think I have to work tonight, too? After all, I'm a child.
No, you don't have to stay.
You mean it?
I'll straighten out with Mr. Matacek.
Thanks, Mr. Kralik.
It could just be you two working together.
May I help you, Mr. Kralik?
No, thank you.
Is that the way you wanted it?
Yes?
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. I'd appreciate it if you tell me if there's anything wrong.
When have you become so interested in my idea?
She's trying to get on his good
Kralik,
side.
after all, I'm working under you.
Now, you don't have to keep harping on that.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way at all, Mr. Crowley. Regardless of what I think of you personally, I believe that anybody who works with you and doesn't get a great deal out of it is just plain dumb.
Just what do you mean, what you think of me personally?
Oh, well, no matter what anybody else says against you, I think you're a gentleman.
I was going to say, does she like him?
You have no idea what that means to a working girl. What a girl goes through in some shops. Now, take, for instance, when I was with Feldish Brothers, the sons were all right, but the brothers, Mr. Kralik. When you say, let's go into the stockroom and put some bags on the shelf, well, you really want to put some bags on the shelf. And that's my idea of a gentleman.
Wait, but the other guys would try on. Were there instead?
Well, I just don't believe in mixing bags with pleasure.
That's how people should be. Gentlemanly. And not trying on.
That blouse was awful.
Oh, no, not awful.
Of course, I wouldn't admit it at the time, but what woman would? We hate to admit we're wrong.
Everyone can be wrong.
Just keep this up, and I think we'll be able to get along much better.
Thank you, Mr. Kralik. No, I was planning to wear that awful blouse tonight. I have a date with...
Tonight, we have to stay here and decorate the window.
Wait, is that what she's trying to do? Get on his good side so that she can leave early? That is what
Would
she's
it be
doing.
possible? Do you think you could spare me tonight? And then...
That's what she's doing.
Oh, so that's why I'm a gentleman. That's why you've learned so much from me all of a
Oh, I
sudden.
don't understand, Mr. Kralik.
You want to get the night off?
I have to.
Well, you're out of luck. Oh, that was such an obvious trick.
He had one.
You know, for the last 6 months, you've done everything you could to antagonize me, and now you have nerve
You
enough to...
haven't been very nice to me either. No matter what I do, it's wrong.
Here.
You don't even listen. When I first came into the shop, I was full of life, and now I'm nothing. You've taken my personality away. Any day now, I may be in a position where I don't have to work anymore. And I'll really tell you what I think of you. Mr. Kralik, I don't like you.
But I want them to like each other. They're really good.
Do you think you could spare me tonight?
Can you get along without Miss Novak tonight?
No.
I'd like to talk to you for a moment.
Oh, you want to go too?
Well, yes, sir. I'd appreciate it very much if...
What is this? Does everybody want to leave here? Is this the interest you show in my shop?
What are you doing?
See, you want a special invitation. Well, next time I'll send you an engraved announcement.
Miss Novotny and I can manage the novelty window by ourselves.
Yes, he's trying to be his wingman and get him to go.
Things over. Whose shop is this?
Yes, Mr. Matacek.
Oh, no.
So, you want the evening off, Mr.
He's a
Kralik.
decent
Well,
guy, that guy.
That's all right. I think we can manage without you.
The first time in years I've asked a favor.
What do you want? You want a brass band to see you off?
Mr. Matacek, I think you're being unjust.
I'm being unjust. Once a year, I ask 6 ladies and gentlemen. Shop twice as big as mine, employs only 4.
He's been a little unreasonable. They're trying to let 2 people go at the same time.
He's telling jokes and talking about the movies. Good morning, Matacek and Company.
But they still sell stuff.
Mr. Pirovich.
Imagine, Mama, we are decorating the window after closing hour, so we won't have to have dinner with the Laszlo. Isn't that wonderful? Goodbye, Mama.
6 people, I ask, 1 day a year, to be so kind. The oldest employee in the place who should set an example.
You spoke like this to me yesterday. What did I do yesterday? The
Yeah.
whole week you've treated me like this. And without any reason.
Without any reason. Maybe I have more reason than you think.
It's the wife, isn't it? Wait, does he think the wife is cheating with him and she's actually cheating with the other guy?
In that case, I think there's just one thing to do. Perhaps we'd better call it a day.
Is that hence because she was friendly with him whilst he was there with her?
Mrs. Marty on the telephone.
No, I'm not coming home tonight. Oh, all right. Yes, all right. I'll send it right over.
I'm probably getting the wrong end of the stick.
Just put 1,000 pengo in an envelope.
Mr. Kralik and I always have lunch. It's only a few blocks from your home. We can deliver it.
No, thank you, Mr. Kralik. Mr. Vadash.
Don't ask him, because he'll just go over to your house that's where I think he wants to be.
Oh, that's perfectly all right. It'll be a pleasure.
But they get to spend time together. Didn't he say that he could go, though?
Will you come to my office? I'd like to talk to you.
Oh no, and does he think he's going to get a raise? Like a Christmas bonus or something?
I've been thinking all day about what you said this morning.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Martychek. I'm afraid I lost my temper.
I think you were right. I really believe that you'd be happier somewhere else.
He's going to fire him?
Well, you think so, sir?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
No, but why? He's been there...
Well, I guess there's nothing more to be said.
He's been there so many years.
Naturally entitled to a month's pay, that's...
But it's Christmas. But he's got a reason to know why.
Just as well say goodbye.
Bye, Mr. Martychek.
That can't be it after so many years.
What happened?
Severance pay.
I wish to state that Mr. Alfred Kralik leaves my employ of his own accord. Started with Martychek and Company 9 years ago. We've found him reliable, efficient, resourceful. We can recommend him without reserve. He carries with him our best wishes for success in his future career.
They're all about as confused as we are. And sad. Why? I like this, just got a flower in there.
There's no reason.
Boss doesn't have to give you a reason.
Oh, is that
Get off tonight.
the flower?
We'll get off, all right?
You are not going?
No, I couldn't face her. You see, this morning I had a position, a future. Sort of exaggerated my letters. She's expecting me to be a pretty important man.
You don't have to have a job to be important to yourself.
My dear Kralik, I think I speak for all of us when I say this is a shock.
Yeah, just a bit.
Losing a splendid fellow worker, and we certainly wish you the luck which you so rightfully deserve.
We are going to see each other.
Sure.
Aww,
You know where we live.
All right, Privilege.
he's such a good guy. I really like him. He's like, he would be a really good friend.
I don't understand.
Oh, it's nothing unusual.
Like family to him.
5, but I deducted from the total, so...
I was the same when I left a really, really long-term job. It was in menswear, doing similar thing.
If I had anything to do with your not
Yeah.
getting the evening off, I'm sorry.
It's my fault anyway that you got into this trouble. Something you don't wish.
On your worst enemy, you know.
I didn't say that, Mr. Crowley.
Well, you have. Come right away. I'll be waiting here.
Waiting? For who?
Go home. We'll finish the windows tomorrow.
My brain is just going, he's hired a private investigator to delve into whatever's going on with his wife. Turns out it's the other guy, not the guy he just fired. But that's just the way that I think. With all these old films, I love this. And she's in such a rush for the date. I hope those two go together. I really like them. We can make it, Mama.
Is it Mrs. Hoyash? This is Mr. Pirovich, Mr. Kralik's friend. Will you please tell him when he comes that we are not working tonight and I'm coming over?
Oh, that's so lovely.
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Martychek.
What you do after working hours is your own business.
You haven't changed your mind by any chance.
Go home.
He's the best man you had. Why did you let him go? He was almost like a son to you.
That's what I said. Yeah, it seemed like
Invited him
it.
to your home again and again.
You want to keep your job, don't you?
I have a family, 2 children.
Yeah, I need to look after them.
Go home.
Yes, Mr. Martychek.
He really looks out for them as well.
Good night, Mr. Martychek. Good night, Mr. Martychek.
Good night.
Here comes who I think is the traitor in them all.
I'm not quite certain if I delivered Mrs. Martychek's message. She told me when I gave her the 1,000 penge to remind you to call her in case you change your mind and don't work tonight.
Yes, you told me about it.
The last time I had the pleasure to be at your apartment was several months ago when you sent me after your briefcase. Today I had a chance to get a glimpse of your new dining room set. Oh.
And this is where he's going to say, I didn't get the dining room set then. I got it later than that.
Thank you, Vash.
Good night, Mr. Martychek.
Good night, Vash.
So how did he know? I don't trust him. I am right, though, aren't I? I'm like 99% sure. Because it feels like he's trying to take out his anger on other people in his life that are close to him instead of his wife. Because he doesn't trust her, but, you know. And that's why he's so nervous, because he's waiting for the private investigator? Wait, is it?
It's true.
I'm afraid so, Mr. Martychek. Now, here we have a complete record from our operatives. 2 of our most reliable men. Report on Mrs. Emma Martychek. On December 6th, Mrs. Martychek left her residence on Bailey Street.
I was right!
There, Mrs. Martychek was joined by a young man.
Who?
Well, Mr. Martychek, your suspicion was right.
I was...
Both our operatives identified him later as Mr. Vadish.
Vadash?
Ah! With a hat with a feather.
There is such a man in your employ, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
The other guy. That is his name, isn't it? The other guy. I was bloody right. I swear to you, I've never seen this film.
22 years I was proud of my wife. Just didn't want to grow old with me.
Oh, bless him. I mean, it's heartbreaking that, you know, that's happened to him, despite everything else and him firing Jimmy Stewart's character, to find out after such a long time. Don't do anything stupid.
No, Mrs. Marticek, this is Miss Kartzik speaking. Who? Pepe?
Ooh.
He did some errands for you. Oh, you don't say. He forgot to pick up a bottle of perfume at Chabot's.
Wait, so...
Isn't that too bad?
Because he's Pepe, isn't he?
A good scolding to the little rascal.
Yeah.
Have a good time, Mrs. Marticek.
He's just pretending to be... So I was right about the other guy. It's in the back room.
Mr. Marticek! Don't do that!
No! Was he gonna hang him? Psst. He was gonna shoot... Oh my god! But I know what it meant to him, but there's more to life than...
Just do me a favor and deliver my note.
Yeah, okay, I know the hurt that can put you through.
I don't want to know what she looks like.
No, I won't. What's the name of that book?
Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. A red carnation is a bookmark.
Red Carnation.
You like the red carnation that was in his little glass? I would presume that was a red carnation when he chucked on the floor.
See anything?
Not yet.
No, I just see... Oh, there's what's her name?
I think I see it.
Yeah?
Right here under the window.
You probably can't see her face though because of the A.
And the carnation.
Uh-huh.
Can't see her face. She's sitting behind a clothes rack.
Yeah.
Kralik. She's dunking.
Well, why shouldn't she dunk?
All right.
Got to dunk a bit,
She's
okay.
leaning forward now. She...
Can you see her?
Yes.
Yes.
She looks of Clara.
Miss Novak of the shop?
Clara's a very good-looking girl, and personally, I always found her a very likable girl.
Yeah, well, this is a fine time to talk about Miss Novak.
If you don't like Miss Novak, you won't like that girl.
Why?
Yep, because it is.
Miss Novak.
Go in. You'll love her.
Give the note to the waiter now. Let that poor girl wait.
Now, why shouldn't Miss Novak wait for her? For the last 6 months, she fought with me every day.
She wrote those letters, my friend.
Yeah.
My misfortune. Goodbye, Perovich.
Goodbye, Carly.
No, go in there.
Excuse me, miss, please, could I have this chair?
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, she looks lovely.
Carnation, A few nights ago, we had a case with roses. Turned out very nice. 3 months ago, we had a very sad case with gardenias. She waited all evening and nobody came.
Oh, no.
The man must have come in, taken one look at her, said, "Fui," and threw away his gardenia.
Oh, no, don't say that to her.
If he doesn't come, I'll put on a carnation myself.
Oh, bless her. I'm sure I recognise that guy. I don't know why, but... I was going to say, I hope he comes past that window. I like that he thought about it for a second, let the friend go, and then thought, just gonna see.
Oh, hello, Miss Novak. An appointment here, too. You haven't seen Mr. Perovich by any chance?
No.
Mind if I sit down?
Yes, I do.
Friend seems to be a little late.
Now, thank you not to be sarcastic. Probably feel very bitter. Still, that's no reason...
Bitter me? When I got home and sat down to the phone, in 5 minutes I had what amounts to 2 offers.
I hope he gets his job back.
Just didn't expect to meet you in a cafe with Tolstoy. I didn't know you went in for high literature.
There are many things you don't know about me.
You sure?
Have you read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Many things you don't know about me
Many
either.
things you don't know about me, Miss Novak. There might be a lot we don't know about each other. You know, people seldom go to the trouble of scratching the surface of things to find the inner truth.
Really wouldn't care to scratch your surface, because I know exactly what I'd find. Instead of a heart, a handbag. Instead of a soul, a suitcase. And instead of an intellect, a cigarette lighter. Which doesn't work.
Oh,
Well, that's very nicely put.
It was beautifully put, but...
Comparing my intellect with a cigarette lighter that doesn't work.
Bit of a heart stab.
Interesting mixture of poetry and...
Being mean.
Meanness.
Meanness, let me
Well,
tell
now,
you,
don't misunderstand me. Only trying to pay you a compliment.
Mr. Crowley.
Look, if your party doesn't show up, would I...
Don't worry about that. My party will show up.
He already has.
Have you read Zola's Madame Bovary?
Madame Bovary is not by Zola. Mr. Crowley. Are you still here?
Yes.
Tom, why do you hate me so?
I don't hate you.
Oh, I suppose you love me.
He
Why should I? What have you done to make me love you?
really does,
Well, I don't want you to love me.
I don't.
I think.
What that tune reminds me of?
2 unsold cigarette
The
boxes.
music box, yeah.
Oh, wrong again.
And you coming into your life.
I'm a girl out of a job. Very nice girl, too, I thought.
You thought that. How you can lie.
Of course, that was before you started to make fun of me, giving imitations of me in the locker room. I don't walk like a duck, and I'm not bow-legged.
Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Well, I have information to the contrary. Mr. Vadish assured me that you have your trousers specially made.
Well, that's a lie. I've never been to a tailor in my life. If you think I'm bow-legged, come on out on the sidewalk and I'll pull up my trousers. How would you like it if I started making remarks about how red your hands are?
Yes, my hands aren't red at all.
No, you may have very beautiful thoughts, but you certainly hide them. You're cold and snippy like an old maid, and you're going to have a tough time getting a man to fall in love with you.
She can be a little bit
An old
snippy.
maid.
Not an old maid.
Frolic, you're getting funnier every minute. I could show you letters that would open your eyes, but you probably wouldn't understand what's in them. They're written by a type of man so far superior to you that it isn't even funny. You little insignificant clerk.
That wasn't very nice, back. He's not even a clerk now, is he? Talk about a punch down. He did call her an old maid, but I thought it was a double whammy, though. He helped her get her job, and then he's out of a job.
I would say it's a nervous breakdown.
It appears to be an acute epileptoid manifestation of the panphobic melancholiac, with some indication of a neurasthenia cordis.
Just what I thought.
Is that more expensive than a nervous breakdown?
Pardon me, Mr. Catona. Precisely what position do you hold with Martychek and Company?
I would describe myself as a contact man. I keep contact between Martychek and Company and the customers on a bicycle.
So, a customer service.
You mean an errand boy?
Doctor, did I call you a pill peddler?
That's good. That's good.
Is it serious?
Actually, it was a terrible shock.
It kind of reminds me of a young Jimmy Stewart, actually.
You remember the last time you came to my house for dinner? I said that if things go well, might take it easier. Maybe by Christmas make you manager of the shop. Now I have to take it easier. Care to work for me again then?
Don't even think about it, sir.
I couldn't stand your presence anymore.
But there's a reason.
That's how far jealousy can drive a man.
No, but that's all over now, sir.
When I first got that anonymous letter, I laughed. Secret rendezvous with one of my employees.
An anonymous letter?
My wife.
How could you suspect me?
You were the only one of my employees who had been to my home. And
That
you
my
sent
wife...
my wife flowers. When that poison gets into a man's mind,
It can make you distrust
try
you.
to understand.
I do understand, sir.
I think we've all been in a little bit of that.
Here are the keys to Martychek and Company.
Oh, complete 180.
What shall I do about Mr.
Vadash? I want him dismissed as quietly as possible. Don't even mention the subject to him. We won't lower ourselves.
And this is going to be the biggest Christmas in the history of Martychek and Company.
I know it will.
Yes.
Now that you're the boss, if you want to give yourself a raise...
Well, sir, I'll talk it over with myself, and if I don't ask for too much money, I'll give it to myself. Thank you, sir.
You saved my life.
Now, if you want anything else, you know where to reach me. Still nothing but an errand boy at Martychek and Company.
In other words, you'd like to be a clerk.
Pretty sick man, Mr. Martychek. This isn't just an ordinary breakdown.
All right, you're a clerk. Go on now. Get out of here.
Thanks, Mr. Martychek.
Just twist his arm just a little bit. I can see that box of things falling.
I think I speak for all of us when I say heartiest congratulations. Now we're all one little happy family again. Sure of my cooperation to the fullest extent. I'm now on. You are going to the office, aren't you?
That's right.
And you're leaving out the door.
Nice little ring, isn't it? I had a little luck last night, too. My grandma gave it to me.
Did she now? Or did Mrs. Martychek give it to him?
Right now, I'd like you to go into the stock room. And you know the big suitcases on the top shelf? And then there are the big brown suitcases. I want you to take all the big black suitcases, move them to the bottom shelf, and all the big brown suitcases from the bottom shelf, and move them to the top shelf.
But Kralik,
You don't want to do it?
I didn't say anything like that.
You're fired.
I'm a good soldier.
Oh, I'd do it right away.
Oh, do you know, I like this better. But he just tortures him. He puts him through absolute hell. Oh, yeah, because they've just realised.
312683, please. Is this the Atlas Employment Agency? This is Mr. Katona of Martychek and Company. We have an opening for a new errand boy.
What a way to introduce it.
Send me 4 or 5. I'll look them over. Katona of the sales department? What's the matter? Didn't you ever see a clerk in your life before?
I was just about to say, never seen a clerk before?
Who did this dreadful thing?
If it hadn't been for me, this place would be closed and you'd all be out of a job.
Very, very good point.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Martychek.
What was he going to say?
Hello, Mrs. Martychek. This is Peppy speaking. That's right. Oh, I didn't bring you that bottle of perfume? Well, you're never going to get it. What do you think? Yes, Mr. Martychek. Just at the moment, he's up in a balloon with 2 blondes. Now, what's this? Yes. You wouldn't like to speak by any chance to Mr. Vadish?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Draw your own conclusions.
Oh, I love this film. Come on, firing.
Vadish, I'm a little worried about you, working under a younger man.
You're a very smart young man, and my hat's off to you.
All right. You know, you and I never got along. You don't like me.
Wait a minute. You are the boss. I am not going to be a yes man. I'm going to contradict you. I do like you. Anything else bothering you?
Yes. I don't like you.
I thank you for being so frank. At least I know my problem, and it's...
Yeah. You're fired.
I heard the funniest joke last night. Do you want to hear it?
No. Oh, you're calling for Miss Novak. Well, I hope it's nothing serious.
Is she okay?
Tell her not to come today. And tell her to be sure and take good care of herself.
That's a wonderful attitude.
What's so wonderful about it?
After all, I've been around, you know, and I have my eyes open. If anyone didn't agree with you around here, it certainly was Miss Novak.
Just leave Miss Novak out of this.
Only sometimes, you know, she went a little bit too far, don't you think?
All right, now just...
Oh, that's going to be the breaking point.
Novak. She's a fine girl and she's working very hard. You shut up. You're fired.
Oh.
Yes!
And get out of here, you two-faced, double-crossing two-timer. Now go on, get out of
Bring
here.
up Miss Novak, and that's it.
Did you hear what he called me? He called me a double-crossing two-timer.
Because you
I
are.
told you to get out of here. Now go on, get out.
I'm surprised he doesn't punch himself.
Don't you push? What right have you got to fire me anyway? Does Mr. Matochek know about this?
No. What do you think
Tell
of
him.
that? I'm the manager and you don't work here anymore.
Anyone can say that. Prove it to me in black and white.
Oh, you want it in black and white? All
Yes,
right,
again.
you're going to get it in black and blue.
Yes, I said the boxes are going to fall down. That's perfect.
Nice little case of assault and battery.
Get the man's salary. The comments?
I'm entitled to a letter of reference.
Flora, take a letter. He has been very efficient as a stool pigeon, a troublemaker, and a rat.
And sleeps with the manager's wife.
Yours very truly, Alfred Kralik.
Oh, this is such a good film. 237. Make me think of The Shining. Room 237. Oh, that's such a nice shot. Oh, letters. That's what she was looking for, a letter. Because she thought he would write to her. She didn't.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't know.
You're surprised to see me back, huh?
Well, kind of.
I wanted to see Mr. Matochek.
Well, here he is.
Mr. Kralik, don't make any jokes. Not today. Can't you see I'm not well? I can hardly see straight. In this state of mind, I ask you a simple question. Just try deliberately to frighten me.
I know they don't get along too well, but I really like them together.
Mr. Fallish? No, Mr. Matochek won't be with us for a while.
That's why I'm manager.
I don't own the shop yet. I'm only the manager, you know.
Oh, no!
Oh, goodbye. Being in charge of the shop, I feel more or less like a father to our little family.
Yeah, like a little family, that's what I said.
You know, Christmas is coming soon. You'd better get well.
I'm sure I'll be all right in a day or two.
But that doesn't mean that you should neglect yourself. I feel more or less responsible for the whole thing.
Aww.
Your mind, it wasn't your fault at all. A much bigger reason, unfortunately.
Why?
Well, my trouble is what one might call psychological.
Oh.
It's a shame you have to go through all this. Of course, as long as it's only psychological.
Only psychological. It's true we're in the same room, but we're not in the same planet.
Okay.
Miss Novak, I'm the victim of your remark. I can't help admiring the exquisite way you have of expressing yourself.
Yeah, I thought that earlier when she was saying some of the things.
Certainly know how to put a man in his planet.
And the letters.
I hope it's good news. I'll tell you later. Certainly was kind of you to drop in, but I don't want to spoil your whole evening.
Well, I have nothing to do. Don't worry about me.
Well, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Good news?
Very good news. I can promise you I'll be back in the shop tomorrow and I'll be on my toes.
Did he give them the letter before he went in?
Well, it's amazing what one letter can do.
Yeah.
You know, if I weren't feeling so happy, I'd be very annoyed with you.
Why?
Because you really spoiled my date last night. This gentleman did come to the cafe. He misunderstood.
Oh, you mean he thought you and I were friends?
Must have. Listen. Tell me.
At first I hadn't been sure if that was a letter from him, so.
Is this very attractive young man?
Sorry I caused you so much trouble.
It won't hurt him to be a little jealous.
Doesn't seem to be much of a man. He's afraid to come over to the table when another man's sitting there.
He was not afraid. He's tactful. He's sensitive. He's not the type of man who would walk up to a table uninvited.
Sure.
Explain a man like him to a man like you.
Because they're one and the same.
Where you would say ugly, he says beautiful. And where you say old maid, he says with fire and mystery.
Oh, I love her. She's so good. It's the little.
Remind him of gypsy music.
Say something from the letter, please.
Speaking of gypsy music, you can consider one box definitely sold. I'm going to give one to my friend for Christmas.
Oh, Miss Novak, now.
Oh no, to him. And he hates them.
Why don't you give him a wallet? Well, I'm sure he'd be crazy about it. Well, any man would be, you know.
Yeah, he hates the box.
Besides being a very practical thing, a wallet is quite romantic. You see, on one side, he has your last letter. On the other side, a picture
of you. Yeah.
And when he opens it, there you are.
I could have written this film.
And that's all the music he wants.
You surprise me. That's very well expressed.
Like what he said earlier about her.
Oh, just the same, I'm going to give him a cigarette box.
Okay.
Well, I guess there isn't much more I can say. I wish you a Merry Christmas, both of you.
I want him to just say something that gives it away. I know he's really liking the game of drawing it out.
Rudy, you know what time it is?
2 minutes after 8.
And you're still here.
He's the new errand boy.
You have to be faster. It's Christmas Eve. Am I asking too much?
No, Mr. Katona.
He's about his age, I think.
Folks, I have great news for you. Mr. Marty is much better.
Oh, Mr. Crowley.
Yay!
We'll get together and buy him a nice Christmas present.
You're getting one of them boxes.
Bare-looking shop with nothing in it except money in the cash register. Now, let's make this the biggest Christmas Eve in the history of Marty. Clara, Miss Novak! How are you today?
Aww.
Good. Now, we're expecting a terrific business today, and it's going to be very tough. But don't overdo it.
He was meaning that in a nice way, but he did make it sound a bit...
I wonder if I could ask a little favor of you. I wanted to buy one of those Ochichonia boxes. Tells me that you took the only one that really worked.
Oh, you genius. And this is the way to switch it for one of the wallets.
Bought it for my boyfriend. He's coming tonight. We're going to celebrate Christmas Eve. Can you keep a secret?
On my word of honor.
I've never met him.
I might have a ring on my finger.
Aww.
And that's a young man who gets a cigarette box? Then let's stop the whole thing. I thought of giving it to my wife's uncle for Christmas.
I'm so sorry. Can't you give him something else?
See, these wallets are lovely.
Hate to spend a nickel on him. At least give him something he won't enjoy. Worth it to ruin my wife's uncle's Christmas.
Oh, and then that's giving her the idea that he'll ruin his Christmas.
But you always liked those.
What would you give him?
The wallet.
What would you say to the idea of a wallet?
That's an inspiration. One of those imported pigskins.
Did he put him up to it? He must have.
If I would get such a wallet, I'd be one of the happiest men in the world.
99% sure he did.
And when I open it, it says, Papa, and not Ochichonia.
I'll think it over.
He put him up to it.
You get the wallet.
I love this film. Thank you for this, for suggesting this. This is up there for me with like It's a Wonderful Life and the other favourites of mine. Oh, he's better. And it's thriving. Just as he wanted.
What are you doing here? Since when are you back?
Oh, I'm not here. I'm supposed to be a pretty sick man. But after all, it's Christmas Eve. I couldn't stay away any longer. Imagine me over 2 weeks in the hospital without seeing a single customer. The only piece of leather goods in the place was my nurse's handbag. Where do you think she got it? Blaszek and Company. And they expect me to get well.
The opposition.
Take it easy. Don't overdo.
Find out if the shop was still here.
Do you think Eric would like that briefcase?
I can't see very well. Could you tell me the price on that briefcase?
$24.50.
$24.50.
Oh, it's such a good price in comparison.
My, what values you get here. Wonder how Matuchek and Company can do it.
Well, if you don't know Mr. Matuchek.
They know him. They knew him. I had a feeling. I was like, would they know him by face though? I don't know.
9,654 and 75.
Wow.
That's the biggest day since 28.
Smashed it.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kralik, Pirovich, you're the best doctors. Yeah. And you, Clara.
Yeah, Clara and everyone.
Laura, you're wonderful nurses.
And Mr. Yeah.
Oh, well, and Pepe, you know what I think about you.
And the newbie.
Little Christmas tree that you all sent me. I was deeply moved. I read your little note over and over, and it made me very happy that you missed me and hoped that I'd be coming back home soon again. This is my home. This is where I spent most of my life. No Christmas is complete without a bonus.
I'd love it if they would just all give it back to him once they've got it as a Christmas present back to him.
Called you names on several occasions. When you see the bonus, you'll realize that I didn't mean it. Thank you. I guess that's about all.
The other boy?
What's your name?
Rudy.
Rudy?
Good boy.
There.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Matuchek.
Oh.
Too much.
What?
I want you all to go home now and have a very Merry Christmas. 9,654 and 75.
An amazing amount of money in a day. Christmas Eve, no doubt, but it's a good day.
I think I have a little dinner now and celebrate Christmas. You ever been to Biro's?
Oh, no, sir.
Christmas only comes once a year.
Oh, is he going to take him for dinner again?
And we'll break a bottle of champagne together.
He's got a date with...
Have another engagement, huh? Just wanted to be sure that you weren't alone. And Merry Christmas.
Same to you, sir.
That could have been awkward. Oh, but he feels a little bit let down with it. Oh no, wait. I presume he's not with the wife anymore, is he? Or has he stayed with her?
You're going to have a nice little party at your house tonight?
I'll bring him.
Have some guests?
No. Just my wife, my boy, my little baby, and myself. That's all we want, and we are very happy. Merry Christmas, Mr. Marty.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be alone. I hate anybody being alone at Christmas. Never occurred to me about the wife thing.
You're probably celebrating Christmas with your mother and father.
See that girl over there in the corner? Well, I'm her Santa Claus. Good night, Mr. Marchek.
Good night.
I don't know how to thank you for that marvelous present.
Aww.
How old are you, Rudy?
17.
You've got your whole life ahead of you. But it's up to you what you make of it. You better not squander that money. You take it home and give it to your mother, huh?
My people don't live here in town.
You're all alone in Budapest on Christmas Eve?
Spend Christmas together.
Do you like chicken noodle soup?
I certainly do, Mr. Marchek.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And roast goose stuffed with baked apples.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, Mr. Marchek.
Double order of apple strudel with vanilla sauce.
Sounds wonderful.
Well, you're going to have it, Rudy. Come on.
Oh, I'm so happy for both of them. Rudy just seemed like a really good kid.
And I hope everything turns out just the way you want it to.
So it keeps occurring back to me that she doesn't know.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'll be out in just a second.
She doesn't know it's him.
I decided to follow your advice.
Want to see something?
I got this for my girl.
Oh,
Wow, that's beautiful.
beautiful.
Look, why don't you try it on?
Oh, please tell me this is the way he tells her. Oh, but it's for you.
Those real diamonds?
They're pretty near.
I didn't know you had a girlfriend.
Probably isn't easy for you to imagine anyone like a man of my type.
Don't let's start all over again. Christmas and I'd like to be friends with you. Besides, you're wrong. I first came to work here. Something very strange happened to me. I got psychologically mixed up.
You don't say.
Yes. I found myself looking at you again and again. I just couldn't take my eyes off you. What on earth is the matter with you? Not a particularly attractive type of man. Now here comes the paradox. Found myself falling for you.
You certainly didn't show it.
Didn't show it, no.
I know you won't misconstrue it. After all, I'm very happily engaged. In those first few weeks, there were moments in the stockroom when you could have swept me off my feet.
No, I'm getting psychologically mixed up.
Yeah.
All my knowledge came from books, and when she wanted to rouse a man's interest, she treated him like a dog.
Yes, well, you treated me like a dog.
Yes, but instead of licking my hand, you barked.
But you shouldn't treat people like that.
The difference between this glamorous lady and me was that she was with the Comédie Française, and I was with Marchek and Company.
I know some people do that. They try to sort of push people away a little bit on purpose to make them want them.
Maybe we'll both be engaged Monday morning. Well, I don't want you to misunderstand me. In my case, it might happen.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can tell you it will happen.
Please.
How do you know?
Well, we'll go into that.
Come on, please. Because it's me. Come on.
Mr. Crowley, what do you mean you know?
Just get down on one knee. Come
Well,
on.
I guess I might as well tell you. He came to see me. Your fiancé.
No.
He came last night. You shouldn't have told him who I am. Spent a very uncomfortable hour. Apparently, he didn't believe it when you wrote him that I meant nothing to you.
He's going to try and play it as if there's a thing.
Oh, no, that doesn't sound like him at all.
Well, now listen, I've straightened everything out. In a little while, you'll be Mrs. Popkin.
Popkin?
That's the name he gave me.
That's right, Popkin.
Very nice fellow. I congratulate you.
Thank you. I think he's a very attractive man, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, for his type, I'd say yes.
You would really classify him as a definite type.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, don't put him on a diet.
Would you call him fat?
Well, I wouldn't, but of course that's just a matter of opinion. Now, personally, I think that little stomach of his gives him a nice homey quality.
Okay, so...
And that's what you want in a husband, isn't it?
Oh, yes, that's what I want.
Now, if I were a girl and had to choose, I'd pick Matthias Popkin every time.
Matthias Popkin.
Didn't he impress you as being rather witty?
Well, he struck me as rather depressed. Well, of course, it's unfair to judge a man when he's out of a job.
Out of a job? He never told me.
Why, it shows you how sensitive he is.
I thought he was going to play it that it's him at first.
Tell him how much I make?
He asked me. When I told him what salary you made, he was a little worried. But then I promised him that you were going to get a raise, and he felt much better about it.
Oh.
Mentioning that bonus didn't do you any harm at all.
Oh, this is terrible.
To know that he would be after just the money.
Materialistic like this.
Yeah.
Why, if you could read his letters, such ideals.
Obviously he's fake, but...
I could quote you passages.
For instance?
Is he going to start saying it?
To love is to be two, and yet one.
He is.
A man
and a woman blended as angels. That's Victor Hugo. He stole that.
No, I want him to start saying it as his own thing because he's the one that said it.
Thought I was an inspiration for all those beautiful thoughts.
But he's trying to push her off of him for him.
Robert didn't mean a single one of them.
He did.
I'm sorry you feel this way about it. I hate to think I'm spoiling your Christmas.
Built up such an illusion about him. I thought he was so perfect.
I had to come along and destroy it.
I guess I really ought to thank you.
I want him to say that it was him.
If I'd only known in the beginning how you really felt about me, things would have been different. We wouldn't have been fighting all the time. If we did quarrel, it wouldn't have been over suitcases or handbags, but over something like whether your aunt or grandmother should live with us or not.
Sweet of you to try to cheer me up. Guess we better say goodnight.
Oh, no. Don't end it there.
You have an engagement. Yes.
Here with you.
So have I.
Go
You
together.
know what I wish would happen? You open the door, and instead of Popkin,
It's you.
I come in.
No, please don't make it more difficult.
And I'd say, Clara, darling.
Oh, no, you mustn't.
Oh, dearest sweetheart, I can't stand it any longer. Open post office box 237 and take me out of my envelope and kiss me.
Mr. Crowley, you must...
He knows. He knew the number. 237. That's how he does it. I love the lighting in this scene. The flower.
Dear friend,
You, dear friend.
are you disappointed?
Don't faint. Again, just hold her, just in case.
Psychologically, I'm very confused.
Oh God, and that would mess with her head.
But personally, I don't feel bad at all.
She's still confused.
When you came to the cafe that night, pretty rude, wasn't I? Why, I called you bow-legged.
He called her an old maid as well.
I was going out in the street and pull up my trousers.
Would you mind very much if I asked you to pull them up now?
If you like. Yeah, but just quickly, I love the lighting in this scene. The backlighting on them, like when they're sat down, was just beautiful here to highlight them. Yeah! I kissed! Yes! Aww. That was so good. That was so good. So good. One of my favourite Christmas films now, aside from It's a Wonderful Life, with, hilariously, Jimmy Stewart as well. But both of those are just beautiful. That's so romantic, so whimsical, and I love the hidden love story there, and all the little ins and outs, like who was the wife with. And when the guy went into the room, I said, didn't I? I said, I hope he doesn't do anything stupid. Because I had a feeling with the way he was kind of acting, he was going to do something like that. And I thought at first, like, is he going to use a rope? Because I didn't think he had a gun. I still can't believe that I hit every single nail on the head for that film. Almost every single nail on the head. Most of the big points I knew that were coming. You guys probably did as well. I don't know. I know that I guess some things usually very correct in films, but never that much. I feel like I could have written that, but it was just that was written so much more beautifully than probably what I could ever do. So really love that. The whole letter scenes, not knowing it was them, and the cafe scene was just fantastic. And all throughout that, I just loved the little game that he was playing where he wasn't telling her, but he was doing these little hints or these little things that wasn't really saying it was him, just teasing her with stuff. And yeah, it was really, really playful. I also love the casting as well, not only for Jimmy Stewart or James Stewart, but also for Margaret Sullavan. That was it. I don't know where I think I said Meg at some point in the film. Apologies. It was Margaret. Maybe her nickname was Meg. I don't know. But yeah, Margaret Sullavan. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't look up about this film before. You've Got Mail was a remake of this film. I've seen many years ago. I watched You've Got Mail. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember even if it was very similar to that film. I know that there was a bookshop in it. Oh, and there was a moment in this film where I said, this reminds me of another film I've seen, but I don't think it was to do with letters. And isn't You've Got Mail about emails? I think. Hence You've Got Mail. But yeah, I'm still blown away by this. It's such a beautifully crafted script. There was little hints to things kind of throughout it. Like even to the cheating storyline, there was the guy giving the money at the taxi. And then the next scene we heard about the money plot thing to do with the wife. At first I hadn't put two and two together until I was thinking, oh, maybe that's why he's being nasty to him, because of the whole, the wife was friendly with him, so maybe he thought that the wife was cheating, etc. I hadn't thought that he had thought it was James Stewart's character at first. I thought that he just thought she was cheating, and then it just dawned on me and I went, oh my god, it's the other guy, the guy with the money. That's who's cheating on his wife. And then I went, oh my god, no, he thinks that he is the one that did it. But I swear to you, I have not seen that film, I swear. There are so many points in it when I was thinking in my head, I'm going, oh my God, I guessed that correct. You guys are just going to think that I've seen this film. I swear I have not seen this. If you hadn't guessed, I tend to somewhat guess correctly to do with the storylines. It's because I know of writing films and I love writing films, and I know the structure of films and laying hints to things. And that's one of the reasons I kind of not guess things, but just say things that I think might be happening. And then it turns out that they do. And sometimes they are ridiculous things, like some of the stuff in this, and I thought that's never going to be a thing. The thing with the private investigator, I just thought, well, if he's thinking his wife's cheating on him, the only person that I could think possibly could be coming round to the workplace would be a private investigator or the wife, but I thought it was probably not the wife. Yeah, that was so sweet and endearing. I had no idea what I was going to think about that at first, because it just from the name alone, I was thinking it kind of reminds me of almost the Hobson's Choice type film, where it's about a shop and you got a group of people that are going to be really nice to each other. And I don't know, I just didn't know what to think. One thing I really loved about the film is that all the characters were completely different. So Margaret Sullavan, by the way, as Clara, is just phenomenal. Like the little facial expressions, the little things she does in her acting to make herself almost unsure, but also very confident at the same time. Like confident in saying something when she wants to say it, but then also other times she's very timid, very shy, very unsure of knowing what other people are going to say or think. And obviously within the narrative of the story, that plays into the psychological issues that she's got going on. And I like that we didn't really find out what they were. It was just slightly vague, but it worked really well within the story. Yeah, James Stewart as Alfred, phenomenal. Obviously it's James Stewart, you know me, love a bit of Jimmy Stewart. And one of the stickers on I think it's only on YouTube memberships because I can't figure out how to get stickers on Patreon, is Jimmy Stewart. I think I've been saying Mudacek, apologies, it's Madacek I think. Yeah, Pirovich, he was brilliant. Felix Bressart, he was just a really wholesome guy. Someone you would love to be friends with. As you know, one thing I really loved towards the end as well, and I felt so bad for the boss. Like everyone was going to be happy, and then at that point, and yes, to be fair, without the wife, I think he was much happier because obviously he didn't have the cheating aspect there. But also, I felt so bad for Frank Morgan's character, Hugo Madacek, the boss, because he was so sad towards the very end. And part of me hadn't realised just before when he was talking about, you know, how are you spending your, like, do you want to come for dinner? Or he was kind of giving that impression about the coming for dinner kind of thing. And it didn't click with me that his wife wouldn't be there. I presumed that the wife wouldn't be there and that, you know, they were no longer going to be married. Obviously at that point they were still probably married. I'm kind of torn with, I'm happy that he wasn't with her anymore because of what she did. You should never stay with a cheater, because if they're cheating, then they're most likely going to cheat again. But yeah, I was so sad for the boss, because when he asked him about the dinner thing, it suddenly dawned on me that he was going to have Christmas alone. And then I was thinking, no, just anybody, please, someone just take him in. And I honestly thought that Alfred and Clara were gonna, I don't know, just invite him round, but maybe that was too cliche. So it was quite nice that he spent Christmas with the newbie, even though the newbie is only 17, so it's not great, but still, I think he'll kind of become like a father to him, similar to how Alfred and him were like father and son. By the way, the waiter is William Edmonds. As I said, I thought he was very familiar. Oh, that's where I've seen him. The waiter is from It's a Wonderful Life. He plays Mr. Martini. I knew he looked familiar, and I was thinking, I'm sure I've seen him in something else. Never expected it to be the other favourite of Christmas time with James Stewart. I've got to say, with that film as well, there were so many gorgeous shots with the lighting was just perfect. Especially towards the very end, when it was kind of that intimate moment between them both, when they just come out of the stock room or the back room area, and then they were in the main room where, you know, the lights were dim, they were about to go out, and you see them sit on the bench, the chairs that are there, and the lighting is just backlit, and it's beautiful, just to highlight them slightly in the dark. It's so nice, and again really elevated that kind of sense of intimacy in that moment. This is one of those films where, much like other films like It's a Wonderful Life, the writing stands out so much, and you can see how long and how much effort and time was put into that to be so well crafted. So director wise, it was Ernst Lubitsch. I think I say the name.
I want you to meet Ernst Lubitsch, our director. The man who gave you a Garbo in Ninochka who made you laugh, and who now gives you a Morgan who makes you laugh.
I hope.
Yes, I hope so too, in The Shop Around the Corner.
Writers were Samson Raphaelson. I'm saying these names and I am so truly sorry if I say them incorrectly, because I have a habit of slightly incorrectly saying names, or, you know, thank you to you guys for correcting me in the comments. Also, Miklos Laszlo and Ben Hecht. Or is it Ben Hecht? Or just Ben Hecht? I've seen that name before, and I never know how to pronounce that. Yeah, there was a little hint towards the beginning of the film where I thought, oh, is it going to be her? When she was standing there, she was in a mood with him. Well, not so much in a mood with him, but she was just a little bit grumpy at the doorway. She's reading like this, and he's there reading the newspaper, and they're just trying to kind of ignore each other. But yeah, then they have a bit of a conversation. A part of me in my head, it was obviously after that they then mention he's going to go on a day, and there's the whole book, that I then went, wait, she's got a book. And I do realise that in real life, these things don't necessarily mean anything. Like if there was a girl reading a book and you're talking about books, it doesn't necessarily mean it's that person. Whereas in a film, they quite often give you hints about the upcoming storylines, or just little hints throughout it that you can kind of look back on. And that was definitely one of those moments where the little nods to things really helped. And that was one of the little nods to things in this. They weren't, in my eyes, they were very, very subtle, but you could also kind of make them out. One of the things I really liked in that film was that growing relationship that you just saw bud from the very beginning when they first met, and you could kind of see that James Stewart's character Alfred kind of liked her at least a little bit because of the way he was kind of smiling at her while she was saying her things. At least he thought she was, you know, she had a certain thing about her that he really liked. The, I suppose, grumpiness towards each other, wasn't really keen on that, but like she said, the reason some people do that is as a form of affection towards that other person, which is true. That can happen. What do you guys think of that film, by the way? Would you class that as one of your favourites? Or did you just think, it's okay? I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely going on to my favourites. Right, as you know, we're going to jump into the trivia now, the film's trivia, which is film facts, basically. So apparently, even though Margaret Sullavan was infamous for her quick temper and disdainful attitude towards Hollywood, I did not know that. Having not seen Margaret Sullavan, I don't think, in anything else. I'm just going to quickly look at what she's been in. Her face is familiar, but I'm not entirely sure. No, I've not seen anything she's been in, although really funnily enough, you know I said about the number 237 being like room 237 in The Shining? Well, she's actually starred in something called The Shining Hour, which is nothing to do with The Shining. It's a drama romance film, but it's just funny that it shares a similar name. And that was the film she did before this film, this one coming out in 1940, that one coming out in 1938. Yeah, it goes on from there to say, James Stewart counted working with her as one of the great joys of his professional career. That's really sweet of him to say. And because he knew her personally, he was even more equipped than most of the cast and crew members to deal with her frequent and volatile emotional outbursts. Okay, I did not know that she was like that in real life. Well, good for him for managing to, as they say, deal with her. Soon after wrapping principal photography, Ernst Lubitsch, I'm trying to say that name correctly, and Ernst talks to the New York Sun in January 1940. It's not a big picture, just a quiet little story that seemed to have some charm. It has a lot of charm. It's such a beautiful story. It didn't cost very much for such a cast, under $500,000. Wow, that's a cheap film. Well, okay, maybe not a cheap film, but it's not a massive budget film. This was made in 28 days. Wow. To make sure his film was stripped of the glamour usually associated with him, Ernst went to such lengths as ordering that a dress that Margaret Sullavan had purchased off the rack for $1.98 be left in the sun to bleach and altered to fit poorly. At the same time, yes, okay, I can understand it. I take, was $1.98 back then quite a lot? I'm gonna look up. Oh, okay, yeah, so $1.98 in 1940 in comparison to now in 2024, $1.98 into the equivalent today would be $44.64, which is an increase of $42.66 over 84 years as of this year of filming. In his own book, Laughter in Paradise, Ernst called this film the best picture I had ever made in my life. So he purchased the rights to the play for approximately $7,500. The play? Hey, The Shop Around the Corner was a play? So according to Gateway Film Centre, this is based on Parfumerie, which is the 1937 Hungarian play by Miklos Laszlo. But yeah, it later went on to inspire writer-director Nora Ephron's You've Got Mail in 1998. Yes, that was it. That was what we were mentioning. In 1999, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. I thought I read somewhere a minute ago something about another play though. Oh, so there were other adaptations of the play Parfumerie. The third adaptation being She Loves Me. Yes, apparently there was Parfumerie from 1937, and this story then served as the basis for two musicals, the Julie Garland one in the Good Old Summertime from 1949, and the oft-revived Broadway charmer She Loves Me. Drastically altering Laszlo's narrative, Nora Ephron's digital update You've Got Mail asks Meg Ryan's children's bookseller to chuck her principles for the big box capitalist who conquers her business heart and inbox. Oh. Ernst, the director, delayed the start of this film until both James Stewart and Margaret Sullavan were available. In the meantime, he filmed Ninotchka from 1939. I completely understand that though, and I love that he did that because it shows that he must have seen the passion that they both had for this project and how perfect they were for these roles, because I love them as a couple. They are just brilliant. They're so natural together and they've just got a real charm about them both. You feel like they would be together. Oh, so James Stewart and Margaret Sullavan were just really good friends. I wondered if maybe they had a thing together, and that was why, why they were so good together in the film. Yeah, Sullavan performed working on the stage and made only 16 films, 4 of which were opposite close friend James Stewart. I didn't know they were in 4 films together. Oh, and according to the biography, Stewart was always madly in love with her. She married his friend and rival Henry Fonda, but Jimmy always loved her. I don't know how true that is. This is just what someone has said in regards to the TMC's book Leading Couples. And one of the chapters was devoted to Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullavan. Yeah, apparently the book claims he was always in love with Sullavan in real life and never got over her. One of the directors who directed them was quoted in saying how obvious the whole thing was. Because you do see, even at the beginning, this is what I said earlier, weirdly enough, I said it looked like he had such adoration for her when he first saw her in that scene, and it's kind of true to real life. He has massive adoration for her and you can kind of see how much he loved her. Yeah, apparently he said Sullavan would work very hard in helping Jimmy get the character, and they worked a lot off camera. He said that when Stewart would have a scene with Sullavan, he would just light up and something would just change in him. The wife he ended up marrying at age 41 is even quoted saying that it was very obvious that they were in love with each other, but that Sullavan was more in love with her career. Yeah, there's just moments in that film. There's not only is the moment when he met her, just feels quite, I don't know, there just seems to be a little twinkle in his eye when he's just sort of giving her a little smirk. And then there's the bit in the cloakroom towards the end. For instance, one of the scenes when he looks at her while she's looking into the mirror, when he's just given her the necklace, that scene is, yeah, just seeing his adoration for her. It's beautiful. Even James Stewart could get flustered working with Margaret Sullavan. One day it took him 48 takes to get a scene right. Stewart said, "We were in this little restaurant and I had the line, 'I will come out on the street and I will roll my trousers up to my knees.'" So I'm a bit of James Stewart there. "I'll throw a lasso around and I'll pull it down." It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, I'm sure you know that, but still. For some reason I couldn't say it. This is what he said. For some reason I couldn't say it. She was furious. She said, "This is absolutely ridiculous." There I was, standing with my trousers rolled up to my knees, very conscious of my skinny legs, and I said, "I don't want to act today. Get a fellow with decent legs and just show them." And then Margaret said, "Then I absolutely refuse to do the picture." So we did more takes. Oh, all scenes were reportedly shot in sequence as well. Although all the signage is in Hungarian, as it should be, the sign advertising the big markdown on the cigarette boxes is in English, as it was deemed and important that the audience be able to read it, yeah. According to the book Laughter in Paradise, the one I mentioned, the Ernst book, The Shop Around the Corner is the most meaningful tribute possible to the owner and employees of the long-vanished Berlin clothing firm of S. Lubitsch. While directing this movie, Ernst drew upon his extensive experiences whilst working in his father's Berlin shop as a lad. Oh, that was his family's. That's so lovely. At the film's January 25th, 1940 premiere at Radio City Music Hall, Lubitsch remarked, "I have known just such a little shop in Budapest. Feeling between the boss and those who work for him is pretty much the same the world over, it seems to me. Everyone's afraid of losing his job, and everyone knows how little human worries can affect the job." Apparently MGM had planned a film version of She Loves Me, designed to reunite Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke following Mary Poppins from 1964, a film that I wore the tape out of. So the idea was ultimately scrapped. A third version of the story came out in You've Got Mail. Oh, in You've Got Mail from 1998, Meg Ryan's character owns a bookstore named The Shop Around the Corner. I didn't realise that was even the name of the shop. It's been so many years since I've seen it. Look at that. Such a great little detail. The Secret Guild Theatre broadcast a 30-minute radio adaptation of the movie on September 29th, 1940.
Margaret Sullavan, James Stewart, Frank Morgan.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theatre.
We always say about the radio adaptations of these films, and there's another one added to it. Apparently the rights to which the play was based on were originally purchased by Ernst in 1938 with the intention to film it in an independent share the profits deal with Myron Selznick using his own company. Negotiations for the film's release were conducted with Paramount, RKO and United Artists until Ernst planned to begin filming at the end of October 1938. But the deal failed to materialise, and when Ernst signed with MGM in January 1939, he included the store property in the deal with the specifications in there that he could direct it. The very opening music as Leo roars are the first few bars of a famous old Russian song, Dark Eyes, which has become synonymous with Hungarian gypsy culture over the years. It would be the focal point tune of the music boxes sold by the shop in the film. That's what it was, Dark Eyes. Oh, at first, European actress Dolly Haas was penciled in for the female lead, but Ernst had second thoughts about casting an unknown actress for American audiences. I could see it being her, to be fair. Oh, James Stewart, Margaret Sullavan, Frank Morgan and William Edmonds all appear in this picture, but also share the screen in the same year's The Mortal Storm from 1940. Really funny that came out the exact same year and they're all back together for the same thing. It must have felt like deja vu for them on set. Can you imagine that? Surprised they weren't confused. Oh, also, originally, Janet Gaynor was the likely candidate for the role of Clara alongside Dolly Haas that we mentioned it before. And she was under contract to MGM at the time. I feel like she's got a little bit of a look there that could match the character. Oh, also there was another broadcast adaptation of this, a 30-minute radio adaptation in February 26th. On February 26, 1945, from the Screen Guild Theatre as well, this time with Felix Bressart reprising his film role.
The Lux Radio Theatre brings you Claudette Colbert and Don Amici in The Shop Around the Corner, starring Claudette Colbert as Karen and Don Amici as Martin, with Felix Bressart as Peters.
I was going to say maybe he couldn't make the other one, and so he made this one instead, because the other one already had a few people in it as it was. Contrary to the practice of the time, the Italian post-synchronization of the film was not done in Italy, but in the United States, with Italian-speaking actors who worked in Hollywood at the time. Well, that's so interesting that they did that. I didn't even know that was something that they did back then. That, ladies and gentlemen, was all of the trivia for today for the wonderful The Shop Around the Corner from 1940. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you're having a wonderful festive season. Whenever you're watching this, maybe you're not even watching this in the festive period, and if you're not, then I hope you're having a wonderful day all week anyway. Now you know me. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know that if you get to this very point in the video, to the very end, that I love to say thank you, and I really do appreciate it. If you would like to, don't have to, but if you'd like to, feel free to comment below a little secret phrase that will secretly tell me if you've watched it till this very point. And it's a little way that I will know what you're on about when you say that. So I tried to think of something that would work really well with not just this, but also its origins. So, the secret phrase, the secret word really of today is parfumery, which is the original story that this film was based upon. So that's it, that's the word, parfumery. The only other thing I can think of was either Ochichania, which is the song from the Music Box, or just Music Box. So any of those would work, but parfumery was the one that I thought of, which would kind of nicely pay tribute to the original story that it was based on. Anyway, I massively appreciate you guys being here today. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you. If you do like this kind of thing, consider clicking the like button. Subscribing is absolutely free as well if you would like to. I watch a lot of classic films here. I've got so many wonderful films on the list that I cannot wait to get around to. A lot of them are your favourites, and if you've got any suggestions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I can add them to my suggestions list, which if you'd love to check out the suggestions list, you can check it out over on Patreon as a pinned public post just there on the main page, and that lists all of the suggestions on there as well. Plus, if you'd love to check out all of the many uncut films that we've got over there, I've got so many I've yet to put out on YouTube. They're over there if you'd love to check them out, or on YouTube members as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. Happy New Year as well. I hope you have a wonderful one. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burrow, Meet, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tilly Chum, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Wilcoxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim McKay, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja and Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, Harvey, Ankame, Aninya, Evan G, Violet Aurora, Pamela Chandler Rash, Scott Howard, Joshua, Robert Williams, Steve Webster, Amanda, Lipaz, Jamie Dodds, King, Happy Go Lucky, Caitlin, Analytical Guy, Maria Torres, Cliff Adams, Jonathan, Dirk, Annie Bonds, Crystal Appleby, Scorpius, Monica Murphy, Sebastian St-Ange, Varga, Leslie McKittrick, Nick Stark, Number 1 Carez, Jen, Biff McKeldin, Birgit, Stephanie Collins, Emily, Ken Duncan, Max, Helena Klitsch, Amy Quattlebaum, Ry Levi, and Wayne DeFries. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching guys, and see you next time.